Hello and welcome to this video, and I'll be reacting to the songs for Wielki Finał Polskich Kwalifikacjii, the Polish national final for Eurovision 2025.
A disclaimer. Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. The shortest and simplest reason being that I find the actions of the Israeli government to be abhorrent and their broadcaster isn't a separate entity. My reasons in their entirety, however, are numerous and too detailed for a disclaimer like this, but videos closely aligning with my point of view are listed in the description. I encourage you to watch those videos and do something. Further resources are added as and when they become relevant. I'll stop addressing this when it no longer needs to be addressed.
There's a few caveats to that. First of all, I'm pretty annoyed that they released them today. It was meant to be just the artist announcement, and because of the lack of a system for Poland, which is really strange, it effectively means that the songs were released today, except they weren't, because there's 2 songs missing, and as far as I can find, no information as to when they'll be out. Will they be performed for the first time at the national final? Maybe. Could they be released in 5 minutes from when I start recording? Also a possibility. So, I have listened to 2 songs that are, without much research, hopefully representative of the body of work of the 2 artists who have not released their songs. I don't know if that's the case for sure, but I chose their most recent song and a popular, relatively recent song to listen to, so that I've got an idea of their musical genre, style, whatever. Hello, Robin. Quite a few familiar names are back. We know of definitely Dominik Dudek. He keeps coming back to the Polish national final. My grandma likes him. Kuba Szlajkowski has been in the national final, I would argue, twice before, definitely 2023 and maybe even 2022. And also last year's non-national final, where it was just a whole bunch of artists saying I'm taking part with this song, and like 130 out of the 200-ish songs you were able to find, and I gave them all a listen. And Daria Marks, we know, she's been involved before, I think, in the national final. Something's in my head about that, but I'm not actually fully convinced. But she did have a big hit with Paranoia, that was on the English radio, at least in the Polish. So yeah, if you think you might not know her, do give the song Paranoia a listen, you might know that song. And then obviously the fan favourite already, because upbeat girly bop, Justyna Steczkowska. So 4 out of the 10 names I do know already. Sarah James withdrew because she wanted to change her song too late, or change her song at all, so we at least know that she's interested in actually representing Poland at adult Eurovision one day. And then there's also Jan, who hasn't said anything about his participation this year, but I'm still holding out hope that he might participate at Eurovision for Poland one day. I'll now tell you about the 2 artists who I just listened to the representative songs of, and then I'll come back with a top 8, I guess, once I've listened to the songs as well. But first of all, about Daria Marks. A concise but accurate way of describing her style, coming from me, would be modern pop, strong beats, and funky, almost disco-inspired melodies with decently smart lyrics. As far as fairly basic pop goes, relatively, I enjoy her songs, so I'm curious what Let It Burn will sound like, or how much I'll like it, and that's what I've got to say about her for now. And regarding Janusz Radek in Cosmic Mist, I'm very confused about that, because I, with a very quick YouTube search, haven't found any songs of his in English, but loads in Polish, also covers in Polish. One of the most popular recent uploads on his channel is a cover of Sign of the Times by Harry Styles in Polish. So, confused that the title, at least, is in English. I wonder if he's going down the junior Eurovision route and having like 2 sentences of English in the chorus, or if it is actually a fully English song. But his songs seem to be, because I wasn't familiar with him at all. Then again, I'm also questioning if I've definitely got the right guy. I think it's not likely that 2 of them would be singers, but Janusz Radek sounds like it might not be the most unique name in Poland. Like, it's among the most popular. I don't know any other Radeks, but Janusz is a very popular first name, and Radek is not outside of the realm of possibility of there being multiple families of Radeks. But if it is the right guy, it seems like he does basically paint by numbers sad Polish ballads, and he has a pretty young voice compared to his face, it seems like to me. And the 2 ballads that I did listen to felt a little bit too long for me, a little bit like they dragged on, so I wonder how the 3-minute Eurovision rule will impact his song. I have not read the Polish national final handbook, so I do not know if those songs also need to be under 3 minutes. So maybe because I don't know that he'll be winning necessarily, because I haven't heard the song or any of the others yet. I don't know if he might just have a longer song at the national final. He just wants to show off in front of the country. That's also a possibility. That's all I've got to say about those two artists. I'll be back once I've listened to the 8 actual songs for Wielki, Finał, Polskich, Kwalifikacjii 2025. Okay, we've given the songs a listen now. I am quite frustrated. So apologies if I'm particularly mean today. I almost always don't mean anything negative about the artists personally, but I'm not particularly satisfied with this national final. I'm still holding out hope for the last 2 songs. They could really turn the average of this national final around for me, and I do broadly enjoy a couple of the songs, but nothing is in here that I love, and I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but it would have been a lovely surprise. I'm just gonna go through my top 8. I have, for the sake of ranking, based on their other songs, put Janusz in last and Daria in first, because I'm holding out hope for Daria's song that it might become my favourite. I'm trying to manifest it, I guess, that I've got a song that I actually actively like in the Polish national final, and that's way more likely for Daria than it is for Janusz. So I've put her as number 1 right now. I don't think I'm meant to. It doesn't seem very kind to the other contestants who have released their songs, but I don't know. I'm hoping that there'll be a song that I really love within the Polish national final still. I also might be being harsher on the Polish artists because I care. I care for Poland qualifying especially, and I would love it if Poland did well while I'm watching Eurovision, but maybe that's why I'm extra frustrated as well. So maybe I'm just holding these people up to a much higher standard than everyone else. Apart from the Italians. I'm going to rip the plaster off and I'm going to give you my top 8, as I said. I have, for the sake of ranking, put number 1 and number 10, but I'm just going to do top 8. And in my 8th spot, I do have Can't Hide by Marian? I don't know how to pronounce this name. It looks kind of German, but it isn't really. I don't know if it's from elsewhere in Europe, but it doesn't sound Polish to me. Maybe I'm wrong there as well. I did switch off while listening to it. Oh, sorry, Robin. And it's not bad. Like, it really isn't. And obviously I wouldn't be able to pull these vocals off. There's a good vocal here, but it's just not particularly original to me. It's just a pretty basic poppy power ballad. In my 7th spot, I've got Pray by Kuba Szmajkowski. This is so different to what I remember from him. I'm always questioning if this is definitely the same guy, but he looks like the same guy, so I assume so. But I remember the most TikTok song coming from him, so this surprised me. I mean, I guess I could have guessed it by the title, but it really surprised me that the song is actually like that as well. It's trying to be dramatic and it's very repetitive. The lyrics feel like they're saying kind of nothing to me. It's upbeat. It sounds okay, but I didn't love it. In my 8th spot, I know, you can write your comments now, is Gaia by Justyna Steczkowska. It's exactly what I expected from her. It feels like a very natural progression from Wiecie Horo, and I don't love it. I don't love this kind of music. It's fine. I don't hate it. Just doesn't really speak to me at all, personally. It's fairly short, but it does have some fairly cool instrumentals. Very dramatic lyrics. The cool instrumentals are also slightly drowned out by the beat, which isn't great. And I do have a slight dislike of Justyna Steczkowska herself. For some reason, I can't quite place my finger on it, but I kind of get the ick. And listen, if she does get chosen for Eurovision, I'll see more interviews with her and maybe I'll be like, oh no, I was completely wrong. I don't know what gave me the impression that I don't like her, but for right now, I just have a weird feeling about her. And I know she's already been at Eurovision, but literally the first thing that all of my family said last year when Wiecie Horo was in the consideration to be the Polish song for Eurovision 2024, which it lost by 1 point, the first thing everyone in my family said was, isn't she too old for that? Isn't she retired? So people know her. Just people who casually listen to music in Poland think she's too old for Eurovision. In my 5th spot, I've got Lusterka by Słada and Nichos. I don't really know how to pronounce this. I'm very sorry. This was interesting because I think this was Ukrainian. I just gave it a quick listen. I did not fact check this, so do tell me if I'm wrong. It's got a good beat. It's a nice enough rap. It didn't grab me though. And the beat is also very familiar sounding. I wonder if it's at least similar to a trending song beat, because it really sounded very familiar. In my fourth spot, I've got Rumors by Sonia Maselik. I want to say Maselnik every time, which means butter dish, but there's no N. This sounds like a pretty basic song for the Polish radio, but it was fine. The lyrics are clever enough, but it's pretty repetitive. Then again, it kind of had a slight disco influence, which I think saved it for me. Truly, before Eurovision 2022, I had no idea that I have any interest in disco music, but it keeps coming up again and again that I do enjoy songs with disco or disco elements, so I guess I do. In my third spot is Miracle by Tinsky. I have no idea. Once again, this is a good ballad, existential, emotional, fun production. I could cope with this, especially if it's performed well. In my second spot, I've put Tempo by Hrust. There's definitely a concrete concept here. It's sort of folky, sort of rocky a little bit, traditional, and it's got a very extreme beat, but then a calm bridge. The lyrics are nature and dark and stuff, and it's kind of Luna's colour scheme, which I know she doesn't own it, but when last year's Eurovision entry was literally using this colour scheme, I'm not sure it's the smartest idea. Karja literally changed his colour to green because the Rasmus had yellow the year before. He was going to have yellow. Alternate universe Karja is yellow. That would be strange. But I'd recommend against it. It's a good colour palette, black, white and red, but arguably the best colour to have go with black and white, but I'd steer clear of it. I like the song. I reckon it's probably too much for the Polish public. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't think this really stands a chance. Though I am glad that it is 100% televote, because the jury scandals in Poland are just never ending. That means that my number one is Hold the Light by Dominik Dudek, the guy my grandma likes. This was okay. I prefer his upbeat songs, but this is well executed. It has good melodies. I don't think it's the most original thing in the world, but I don't know, maybe I'm partial to him as well because my grandma likes him, so, and because he's been to the national final a few times, but yeah, I enjoyed Hold the Light, I guess. What stops me from having Tempo as my number one is that it is at times a bit too extreme for me, even a bit too alternative and out there, and I'm kind of annoyed at myself for that, but that's just the case. I am so sorry. You can probably tell I'm getting pretty frustrated. That's because I guess I'm just disappointed that there's no Polish songs that I like yet, and I guess I really do care that much more. So I'm very, very sorry. But this is my true, authentic expression immediately after listening to songs. Okay, let's have a look now at the community rankings before my camera dies, because I can see the battery's running out. And I'm guessing Justyna is number one. Absolutely she is. Not that many people have ranked yet. Okay, people are recognising that Daria's song is more likely to become a favourite than Janusz's, because they are in 9th and 10th spot, which makes sense because their songs aren't out. But Janusz has 950 points, Daria has 1,904. Yeah, in the 8th spot is Marian, which I also didn't particularly feel inspired by that song. Don't Hide, so that makes sense. In the 7th spot is Tinsky, which I did kind of like, the Miracle ballad. 6th spot is Kuba Szmańkowski, Pray. Yeah, okay. 5th spot is Sonia Maselik, which is Rumors. I kind of thought that would be higher based on average Eurovision demographics, but maybe people just aren't listening to the songs yet because there seems to be no system in Poland. The songs are all on the artist channels, they're not even all out yet, so maybe not as many people even know that they are out yet because there is no good system. Speaking of there being no system, TVP, jeśli chcecie pomocy z Eurowizją, ja wam pomogę. Ja wiem, że jest Eurowizja.org, ja wiem, że jest misja Eurowizja. Też mogę pomóc. Też się znam. I znam się też na wielu krajach. A Polska ma jakieś problemy z Eurowizją. In the 4th spot is Dominik Dudek. I can kind of expect that. And then 3rd spot is Hrust, which is Tempo. 2nd spot is Swada and Nichos, which is also kind of expected. I think the two alternative songs being higher up makes sense because all the other songs kind of just blend into one another. And Justyna's number 1, far and away in the lead, 7,324 points. Second spot has 5,893, and then it goes consistently down to 3,289 for the top 8. So, yeah, I understand that the other fans like Justyna. I knew that going in before she was even properly announced, because the songs got kind of leaked a couple of weeks back. So I do literally only want to say one more sentence, so I'm gonna film it on my phone. Apologies for the change in audio and angle and everything. So I was expecting Justyna to be people's number 1 for a few weeks already, and to be honest, even longer, because she was posting photos from the studio that she's working on a song for Eurovision. So I'm also fully expecting her to win right now. She might not, because a lot depends on the staging for these songs, but right now, if I were to be placing bets, I would, without a doubt, be placing them on Justyna. The last 2 songs I might film a mini video for. I might also just leave something in the comments or in the description. So if you know that the other 2 songs are out already, and it's before the national final, before February 14th, before Valentine's Day in 2025, do check those places. As in the iCard or the description or the comments. There might be my thoughts on the last 2 songs somewhere there. That's all that I've got to say about the songs for Wielki, Finał, Polskich, Kwalifikacjii. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about these songs? Are you more excited by any of them than I am? Also remember to like the video literally if you liked watching it, and share it with someone else who you think might also enjoy watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to for more Eurovision 2025 and beyond content, and thank you ever so much just for watching the video though. That's a great help as it is. I do mean that. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, that got something out of it. I'll see you next one, and then it shows up on your feed. Bye! Hello. Hello. Why is my voice so high? Hello and welcome to this video, and I'll be reacting to the